Hey guys, I'd like to welcome to the podcast a new guest. Her name is Joeylynn Mesaros. She's a homeschool mom in New Braunfels, Texas. And she and her husband, Robert, are being sued by Democrat politicians, Wendy Davis, Biden White House officials, and federal court under the KKK law of 1871 for flying Trump flags next to the Biden bus in 2020. This seems to me to be insane. By the way, her website, freespeechdefender.com, freespeechdefender.com. Joeylynn, welcome. Thanks for joining me. You were telling me a moment ago that you're, a little bit of a recent activist in politics. Tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what got the fire lighted under you to get involved.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. You know what? I was brand new to politics when we flew Trump flags next to the Biden bus, which is what we are getting sued for. I think I had 3 weeks dipped my toe into the world of politics. I didn't even know what cancel culture was. My child was in public school. I was a working mom. And since then, Dinesh, I've pulled my son out of school. I homeschool him, and we are now free speech activists as a result of getting sued for exercising free speech. I didn't even know what my First Amendment was.
Now let's come back to this idea of flying the Trump flag. So it's kind of it's a clever idea, and I actually think it's very effective because you've got Biden with this bus going around the country. And what did you do? Did you drive alongside the bus flying the Trump flag? What did you actually do?
Yes, sir. So there was a caravan of vehicles, which in 2020 we called the Trump train. And it was just a way of campaigning and showing your support for President Trump and getting other people excited about getting involved in politics. That's how we came to really get involved. And so when we were parading around town several days out of the week, it was very fun. People would be outside in their lawn chairs, waving, holding signs. The Biden bus is driving through town. It's like, oh, well, let's drive alongside it. Let's have a Trump train at the same time. Maybe we'll make national news. President Trump will see his support here in Texas. How fun would that be? There was, Biden in a press release claimed we tried to run that bus off the road. And there were these lies in the headlines saying we were emboldened, racist bigots, white supremacists crawling out from under our rocks, that we were trying. The reason we're getting sued under the Ku Klux Klan law is because they're claiming that we banded together on a public highway like the Ku Klux Klan with the intent to suppress minorities from voting. That's how the progressive left spin things. And so even though we have a constitutional right to exercise free speech and drive down roads we pay taxes to drive on, we're now having to defend our basic rights.
I mean, this is very disturbing to me because it shows that, some people might say, hey, they're going after Trump over the New York case, Stormy Daniels, or they're going after Trump on classified documents. But then the ordinary person may say, well, you know what? Well, I mean, I'm not Trump. I don't have access to classified documents. So I didn't even go in the Capitol on January 6th. I'm a law-abiding person. I just like to live my life, speak my mind. Nothing's going to happen to me. And you're living proof that that is actually not the case. You do something that really seems to me to be not only completely protected constitutionally, but kind of part of the exercise of democracy. And what you're doing, which the left does all the time, is they show up. When we show up to do a rally, they show up to do a kind of a counter protest. So what are you doing but running alongside the Biden bus? Now, I'm assuming that there's no truth whatsoever to the fact that you didn't threaten them or try to block them or prevent their bus from going forward. None of that, right? So what is the basis for them claiming that you tried to, let's say, run the Biden bus off the road? Do they have what's their supporting evidence for that?
This is the scariest part. There isn't anything to substantiate these frivolous claims, yet we have been in this lawsuit for 2.5 years. We have tried not once, but twice to get this lawsuit dismissed because they have not met the basic requirements of using the Ku Klux Klan law against us, which would be to prove that we were racially motivated. And they cannot prove this because it doesn't exist, but they've spent 2.5 years trying to interrogate our friends, family, subpoena Facebook, all kinds of stuff. They can't substantiate their claims, but the Obama appointed judge that we're assigned to has ruled that we will go to trial by jury in December, which will be nearly 3.5 years later.
And who is named this? What is the name of this Obama judge?
This is Judge Robert Pittman. He's in the Western District of Texas. So the jury of our peers will be in Austin, Texas. We're trying to appeal to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is much more conservative. And after that is the Supreme Court of the United States.
Wow. Let's take a pause. When we come back, I want to go into a little more detail into the way in which this kind of legal harassment, I mean, one could even call it legal terrorism, is used against ordinary citizens who then have to scramble to find the resources to fight back. We'll be right back.